Welcome back, everyone, to Open Mic, where we'll be talking about this year's Barcelona Dragons 2023 football team. Today, I have Conor Miller and Austin Duke. But first, I wanted to say thank you so much for viewing and subscribing to our YouTube channel. With that being said, I'll get into it. How you doing, guys?
I'm good.
Muy bien.
Muy bien.
Gracias. Muy bien, gracias. Está bien, ¿y tú?
Muy bien, gracias. How's your Spanish going?
Getting better, poco a poco.
Yeah.
Eso estoy aprendiendo.
Yeah. What about you, Austin?
He's better than mine.
You picking it up, though?
Yeah.
Are you planning on learning?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. So, but you're from you've been to Spain before, right?
I did. I lived in Spain this off season. My girlfriend's a professional volleyball player, and she played up in La Rioja. It's one of the smallest autonomous community in Spain. So we lived there the whole off season. It was the best experience of my life so far. I absolutely loved it.
Is this your first time in Spain?
First time.
Is it your first time in Europe?
First time, yep. First time.
Man, so what do you think so far?
It's very tranquilo.
Very
tranquilo.
Chill.
So yeah, it's I love it. It's beautiful. It's chill. We love it.
Yeah.
The jet lag hitting.
The jet lag is hitting. I got my body's like dehydrated and cramping, but it's cool.
You gotta hydrate. You gotta hydrate.
For sure.
And you've been to Europe before, right? Too.
I
Conor?
have. So this is actually my fourth season playing in Europe. I played 2019 in Cologne, Germany, 2021 Graz, Austria, last year 2022 in Paris, and then this will be my fourth season.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited.
Okay. Okay. Have you played professional football before?
Yes, played in the NFL and then XFL, and then now I'm here. So, yeah.
You got drafted in 2017 to who?
Undrafted to the Panthers.
To the Panthers. Okay.
Yep.
The Panthers, hometown, home state, right?
Yep, hometown kid. Yep.
Yeah. What about you, Conor?
So this will be GFL, AFL, French. This will be the fourth league I've played in over here. So every year has been a new league. I had a little cup of coffee in the ELF last year, 2 games with Leipzig, but this will be my first full season, first time going to a training camp in the ELF, the European League of Football. So I'm very excited to compete against the best.
Yeah. So you've been, kind of the European League of Football. What are you expecting from this year?
I think this year is going to be the best by far. You've seen really all the best players from all the other domestic leagues around Europe have pretty much joined the ELF. And, that's going to happen when you add new teams, such as the Milano Seamen, who are known as a powerhouse, long-standing culture. Their quarterback, Luke Zaradka, has been one of the best players in Europe. And so for teams like them to join the ELF, you get another team in Munich bringing in a whole group of guys in Bavaria where, they have the Munich Cowboys. They have a bunch of GFL teams in that region. And so to be able to have those new teams and kind of tap into a whole new pool of players, I think the level of the league, from the first year to the second year to this year, I think is going to be a huge increase in talent. And I mean, you saw last year a brand new team, the Vienna Vikings, won the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
Vienna's been around.
Right, but new to the ELF.
True.
New to the ELF. True. So, kind of bringing all this new talent and these new teams, and even, guys like the Surge have picked up almost all of Swedish Hall, and bringing that added element from the GFL, essentially, with Coach Newman, their quarterback Riley Hennessy, bringing them to the ELF is just going to raise the level of the entire league, and I'm really excited to compete against the best.
Good. Let's kind of go take it back to where you guys from. So you said you were from Charlotte, North Carolina, and where you went to school. Want to talk about a little bit about?
Yeah, so I went to University of Charlotte, from Charlotte, went to high school in Charlotte, played pro ball in Charlotte, so everything for me is Charlotte. Just recently, a year ago, moved to Miami, so that's where I've been living. And Conor's hometown, Miami, and then now I'm here. So Charlotte's a very up-and-coming city. I'm actually in real estate and mortgages there as well, so you can see like just the development of residential housing, like just going through the roof. With new land development, new construction homes, the market's hot right now. Even though interest rates are everybody's saying they went up since 2020, which they have, but yeah, man, it's a good place to start a family and raise kids and live a good life.
So that's what you do too. You real estate and football.
Yeah.
Wow, 2 jobs. Definitely.
I kind of got forced into it as like an undrafted guy. Like we all know how the world of football is. It's crazy. It's up and down. Yeah. And the biggest thing is like being able to be financially stable. For the first 2 or 3 years I was in the league, I lived in my parents' house until I was able to go and buy my own house. But it's just no stability. income wise, you can cut at any time.
Yeah.
So for me, being able to have something that I can put in my back pocket, make money, have income, and actually have a career, it makes it to where it's like, okay, there's no pressure. If I get cut, all right, cool. I can still provide for myself as a man.
That's a players and a coach.
Yeah, players
Yeah.
and coaches. Yeah, yeah. And I didn't sign a multi-million-dollar contract, so I don't have just multi-million just sitting laying around.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, I mean, I love it. It's a passion of mine, and I'm already into my second career, so it's a win-win.
That's good. How long you plan on playing in football, like going forward?
What am I, 29 now? Probably next 5-7 years. I think I play up to I'm 35, 37.
Why not?
Yeah.
Good. What about you, Connor? Miami?
Born and raised Fort Lauderdale, Florida, about 20 minutes north of Miami. Growing up in Fort Lauderdale, football is what you do. It's one of the cities with the most players in the NFL. I believe Miami is the most, so 20 minutes away. So being born and raised in South Florida, like you're kind of not forced into it, but it's a part of life. So played football my whole life. My dad played football at the University of Georgia as well, so SEC guy as well. Yeah. So born and raised there, played at Florida Atlantic University up in Boca Raton, which is about 25 minutes, depending on traffic from from my mom's house. So
Who was the head coach there?
Coach Kiffin.
Yeah, that's what I thought. If he was still there, yeah.
So
we were in the same conference too. Charlotte and
Yeah,
FAU
Conference
was in the
USA
same
too.
conference.
Did you play against each other?
No, he was just before me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just before me. So how'd you do against the Owls?
The Owls. I had a tug.
Of course you
It
did.
was 2016 when there was a hurricane or something. We had to end up staying the night, one more night or something.
Did y'all beat us?
I think we did. When I was there, we were 1-1. Y'all beat us the
Same,
first year,
yeah.
Count say, and then once we were there, we had like an 80-yarder maybe on the screen.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, it was a good game though.
Is Coach Strong is at Charlie Strong is at Central Florida, huh?
I'm not sure where he was at Miami last year, I believe, as the linebacker.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was.
okay.
He was at Miami.
I'm not sure where he went now.
He's at Louisville now. No. He's at Louisville now, I think.
I know he was at Louisville before. I can't remember.
Because
I
he was
just
with
know he was at
Texas.
Miami last
He was
year.
at Texas too, right?
Yeah, I think he went from Louisville to Texas, UF to Louisville to Texas to USF to South Florida.
He's at Miami.
He was the head coach.
He's at
South
Miami
Florida.
right now.
Is he still there?
I think he is. Because
Okay.
when I was training, he came in with to look at the high school guys.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question. So, what is the biggest difference between college football and professional football at any level?
Speed.
Speed.
Yes. The speed of the game, which for me actually wasn't that big of a difference. I'm a faster guy, but it's the speed of the game. It's the competition. Everybody is really, really good. So the margin of error is very, very small.
Yeah.
So just really being efficient. You don't have 10 plays to get warmed up or drop a ball. Like you got to be ready to go and be efficient right away. So I think for me, that was the biggest difference coming from Conference USA to the pros. It's just the efficiency of it, the game speed, and the playbook.
Yeah.
Playbook was crazy.
I
Compared
said
to spread offense.
someone told me that you only get so many chances with Tom Brady. He only give you so many chances, and if he doesn't like you, you're done.
This is an undrafted guy. Like the draft picks, they get as many reps as they need. The leash is longer. Undrafted guy, you have to come in and do what they expect the draft picks to do with less reps and less time. And they're just like, oh, figure it out.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity here. And it's just like, all right, you got to figure it out. So there's guys that have done it and won with it. So
Yeah.
We say speed is the biggest.
So I think, you guys obviously both played in the NFL. I've been over here in Europe. I would say more in terms of off the field, I would just kind of say being an American professional over here is you're here to play football. And, there's no class, there's no study hall, there's no mandatory lifts for the most part. And especially kind of being over here in Europe, most teams, you're only practicing 2 to 3 times per week. So it's on you to be in peak physical shape. It's on you to know your plays. It's on you to make sure the rest of the offense, in my case, the rest of the offense is kind of up to speed. And kind of tying it full circle. That's something that's really cool that we have with the Dragons is the amount that we're able to spend in practice and meetings together is more than the traditional European team. So kind of to tie everything back to the question, that's really the biggest difference I've noticed is you are a football player. You're not a student athlete, you're a pro football player. And so just having more time and And once again, it's on you to be ready. And if you're not gone, you're on the plane back to the U.S. and they're bringing someone else back over.
Sure.
Yeah. Football in the league, we only practice 2 or 3 times a week, really.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Monday is just meetings for watching film. Tuesday you have off, and then Wednesday, Thursday is like full pad day, and then Friday is fast-paced Friday. Just helmets or no helmets. You just pretty much walk through faster.
So, what do you guys think about the team? What do you guys think about Barcelona joining?
Yeah. This is the coolest group. I mean, I've been blessed to play with some great guys, some cool players. So all you guys are watching this, I love you guys.
Yeah.
But this is the coolest group of dudes that I've ever had the blessing to play with. I truly feel that the Dragons are a family. Yeah. And there's not one person on this roster who doesn't really want to be here.
Right. You can feel it. Like, the first day, I can just feel the connection. Everybody's helpful and nice, and not just because like we're the imports. It's like they're like that with each other, joking, the banters, all that. Like they're cool dudes. Yeah.
We set the bar last year. We had high standards when Coach Andrew and Coach Black came in. We're talking about a championship game, and we set the bar. We went to the playoffs. Unfortunately, we lost to Vienna, but we have high expectations, and hopefully you guys could come here and help deliver. We lost some big guys. We lost Zach. We lost Kyle Sweet. We lost Rubia, Alejandro Fernandez. But those guys can be replaced. Jordy and Chesty told me that anyone can be replaced. I was here on the team last year, played. I was replaced. So anybody can be replaced, but the guys that we bring in, we need them to contribute. So you guys got some shoes to fill, and our fans and everyone on the team is expecting you guys to deliver.
Yeah, no, that was one of the first conversations we had on the first dinner. I broke it down. It's like, hey, like, what is the expectations here? Like, what are we trying to do here? Because I'm thinking championship. And Conor agreed, and all the imports, we agreed that that's what we're here to do, is to win games and win the championship.
Yeah, and I think, as you said, there's some great players here last year. I personally believe Zach Edwards was the MVP of the league, should have been the MVP of the league. Kyle Sweet was the Triple Crown. But we're not here to replace those guys. We're here to be Conor Miller and Austin Duke. Yeah. There's no truly replacing those guys. The talent they bring, for Zach, the 2 years being here, kind of starting the Dragons. They're really talented players, but Bart and Coach Black and the Dragons just brought us here to be ourselves. So we're not going to try to replace anybody or fill anybody's shoes. We're going to do whatever the 2023 Barcelona Dragons need us to be. We're going to make sure that we do every single thing in our power to be that.
What do you guys think about Coach Black? This is his first year as head coach.
Yeah, he's caring and genuine. He's serious about leading this football team, leading this group of men. I've taken to him well already. What did Luke say last night? Because every time he looks over, every time he looks over, he just constantly doing this to him.
Yeah, players coach for sure.
I love Coach Black. He's a good dude, and he seems like a great coach. So I'm excited to play for him.
Yeah. I would agree with that. He's, like I said, a player's coach. So he's the kind of coach I feel like you could go up to him and talk about anything, on the field, off the field, whatever. But you could really tell how much he loves the Dragons and he loves the program and he loves these players. You can't fake that. Right. You can't fake that. And, it kind of goes back to what I said before, that every single person in this organization really wants to be here. And so it was one of the first conversations I had with Jordy Brignani that he said, as a defense, Coach Black is our leader and whatever he says goes. So if he tells us to go run through that wall, we're going to go run through that wall. And I think we're kind of adopting that attitude as a team. Coach Black is the head coach and obviously also the defense. I'm excited to get Coach Miguel Romero, Coach Mickey here as well. And we've had a lot of meetings with him and we can tell he's a very knowledgeable guy. I really like his offense. So we're really excited to get him here as well and get our full team, full coaching staff here and ready to roll, man.
Yeah. Something our head coach didn't do last year was we were basically two teams. We were an offensive team and a defensive team. This year, Coach Black is focusing on every spot, every position, defense, offense, and special teams. He's locked in. He is a player's coach, but he has this switch where he knows when to joke and everyone knows when he's serious. So I love that about him. Who are you guys excited to play this year?
I'm just going to say week 1, the Helvetic Guards. I'm taking it one game at a time, trying not to focus too much ahead on the schedule. I'd be remiss if I didn't say I was excited to see a lot of my brothers in Paris who I was fortunate to win a championship with last year with the Flash Lacourneuve.
Okay.
So I'm really excited to see a lot of those guys who I shed blood, sweat, and tears with in Paris. And but kind of taking it back, we're going to take it one game at a time. We're focused on the Helvetic Guards, a new franchise who's going to come out first game ever. I know they'll be ready to roll. They have a head coach Norm Chow with a ton of experience.
Yeah, he won a national championship with Southern Carolina.
With USC.
Yeah, USC.
Yeah, I think most people especially as an offensive player, like most people in the football world know Norm Chow and respect what he's done. They have a very talented roster, and we know they'll be ready to play. So right now, that's all my focus right now on the Helvetic Guards.
Yeah, same. Just one game at a time.
One game at a time. Okay. So on the team, who stands out the most to you guys? What player stands out the most?
That's
the brothers. What's the brothers, Jordy?
The Brugnani brothers.
Yeah, I just saw they look so swaggy.
Because they're the loudest.
Yeah, I saw them on Instagram. I was like, I know y'all too. Y'all on Instagram, they just look swaggy with the tats and the piercing. I was like, bro, they're swaggy.
Don't hype them up. Jordy, you ain't got no swag. Don't hype them up too much.
Yeah, those are the ones that stood out.
For me, Raul Cernuda looks really good. He's a big body.
Raul.
Big body, tight end, great hands, really smart football IQ. But my little Catalan brother, Jordito Torrededia, we had a great offseason working together. And this is going to be, I think he's like 14 years old or something, but this is already going to be his third year in the ELF. So
he's not 14.
No, I'm messing with Jordy, te quiero, tío. Pero, I'm really excited, just the work we put in this offseason together. I know he's really excited and ready to make a big step. And you can tell he's kind of emerged as the leader of the receiver group at his young age. Maybe not 14, but he's 20, 21 years old. And he's already a veteran in ELF terms. So he's really taken a leadership role, even as a younger guy. And I think he's ready, man. I'm so excited to see how he plays this year.
I think you got a lot of weapons. Austin over here and Jordy, and I see some new guys. Theo.
Yep.
Yeah, Theo.
From Sweden. Yeah, you guys, I think you got a lot of weapons this year.
Yeah.
And the offensive line, our coach came back yesterday. He's supposed to be a really, really good coach.
Yeah.
Offensive line coach. So I think you're going to be all right.
For sure, man. Yeah. I think so as well. Big shout out to my jugador favorito, Elvis Núñez, tío, te quiero. Elvis es mi jugador favorito en todo el fútbol americano. Te quiero, Elvis.
He says poco español, but that's muy mucho.
Yeah.
Austin, I was sitting in the special teams meeting yesterday, and I saw you giving some advice to the guys. You're stepping into a leadership role. This is a young team, and a lot of them haven't played in a professional level yet. What kind of leadership can you bring to these young guys who haven't really stepped up to this level of play?
Yeah, so I think for me, it's I've always been a guy that leads by example. That's the biggest thing, is anybody can say anything, but actually saying it and then doing it, that's what I strive to be. But just for me, man, the past 2 or 3 years, I've been coaching high school, coaching receivers. I have my own foundation, doing 7-on-7, where we play just like AAU basketball. You go all around the United States, and we're playing 7-on-7 football. So that's my background, just coaching and leading, young men. So for me, it's kind of easier and fluid process to just step in. But I think we're now leading men and coming into a new place where, they've told me that, hey, they want me to kind of be like a player coach. For me, it's learning the coach's mindset and learning what they want philosophies to be, and not for me to come in like a know-it-all or come in because I played in the NFL like, oh, look at me, I know everything, they don't know nothing. So it's me trying to find a balance of when to step up and be vocal and to say XYZ things that we need, and encouraging, and not just saying do this, do that because that's the right way, or because I'm better than you, that type deal. So stepping into that leadership role for me, I just want to, step into it in a way in which everybody understands and knows that it's coming from a good place and that we're trying to win a championship, and not undermine anybody. So I'm not hesitant, but just trying to be mindful of that. I think we had a conversation about that at dinner as well. But yeah.
So I think, for me, obviously, like I mentioned, this will be my 4th season in Europe. So I'm really a veteran, and we're in a situation where we have 3 other really, really talented American imports, Austin, Luke, and Darius, but none of them have played in Europe before. So little things for me about like kind of helping these guys acclimate to life here. Because my first year in Cologne, 2019, I didn't really have anybody to help me with that. And that was my first time in Europe as well. And I was just like, whoa, like this is a culture shock. So I know I really struggled. So for me, it's about helping ease the transition for these guys from the U.S. to, I believe none of you guys have ever been to Europe before.
Nah.
So kind of helping them acclimate to life here and just helping them be their best selves because, you see the talent that they have. Obviously, they're here for a reason. And then, like Austin said, just leading by example, being consistent in my voices, and most importantly, letting my teammates, the whole organization know how much I love them and how much I care about them. And I would do anything for them. So, just fighting every day to earn that respect and earn that trust from them.
That part.
Yeah.
That part.
I think this is a great league. I think it's a very competitive league. I think both of you guys are going to enjoy it. I personally think that we have the hardest schedule. We play some tough teams. We play some new teams, but they're stacked in the roster.
Yeah.
But with that being said, what do you think it's going to take to grow the European League of Football? What do you think it's going to take?
That's a great question. I think football is a game that popularity is really rising in Europe. You look at the NFL game this year in Munich, the Seahawks and the Patriots. I heard there's 60,000 fans. The tickets completely sold out. And then there were another, I don't know how many tens of thousands of fans there were just outside the stadium just wanting to be around football. So, obviously the NFL is the NFL and it's been around decades and decades and decades. But I believe as the product continues to grow in Europe, as the European League of Football continues to attract more players like yourself and Austin who played in the NFL and are able to bring their experience and help lift up the level of the European players as well, I think the product will grow, and I think the European League of Football will start to become more popular, where you see, I believe the game between Hamburg and the Rhine Fire is being played in the HSV Stadium in Hamburg, and they're going to sell 30,000 tickets to that. So I think, just it being the third year, it's already growing. You look at the crowds the Rhine Fire getting 10,000 people per game. It's growing, and I believe the ELF Commissioner Exume does a great job of marketing this league, and they do a great job with their social media channels and just kind of increasing awareness of American football and specifically the ELF in Europe. So you can already see the monumental strides it's made in just the first 3 years, and I believe it's only going up.
Yeah, I do. The market's there.
Yeah.
The market's there.
I just think getting active in the community, social medias and getting active just naturally in the community, just getting people behind us. Here in Barcelona or Salou, that's what I said? Salou. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Getting more involved with the community. That's a trick that we used to do in college.
Yeah.
We did that not daily, but weekly. Whether it's talking to donors, doing things for the kids at the Boys and Girls Clubs. We always wanted to show our faces around town.
Right.
Everyone knew who the team was, so it was kind of hard for us to get in trouble too. Getting involved with the community and even doing a partnership with the NFL, hopefully in the future. Guys want to play the game. I think they also need more coaching, because a lot of guys didn't start. They coached themselves, watching YouTube. But they started playing for only like a few years ago.
Yeah.
I think last year we had a guy who only played for 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So, but the game is growing over here.
Yeah.
So what you guys going to, I think I asked this question before, but I'll reword it. What can you guys teach from what you guys learned over the years to these young guys?
Yeah, just little techniques like catching a punt return. Catching it like an egg instead of just here. Like if you catch it here, it can bounce off, but if you bring it down like an egg, it's
technique.
Yeah, just little techniques, little nuances of the game like that. Just the same way that veterans were teaching us stuff in the league, just taking that knowledge and passing it down. So techniques, coaching points, and that's really about it. It's not. I try to keep everything simple. Don't make it rocket science. Keep everything simple and just whatever I know, just teach them, and anything that they can tweak or fix, teach them.
You know, I think I've been blessed to be around many great coaches. Coach Lane Kiffin, my quarterback coach Oliver Bozeman, Coach Charlie Weiss, and then many great players through the years. So I think kind of teaching them about the work habits that it takes to be a successful football player, as well as, like Austin mentioned, techniques and little details. That's one of the things I would say is the biggest difference between the American players back home and then a lot of European players is, like you just mentioned, that some guys just started football 1, 2, 3 years ago. It's not something that, you know, like me growing up in South Florida, that I've played tackle football competitively since I was 10 years old, maybe. So these guys are starting in their teens, and then they're practicing, you know, 2 times a week for a few period. In South Florida, we have practice 4 days a week. We have a game on you know, whichever day, Fridays in high school. Then we have spring practice. Then we have summer workouts. So just the sheer amount of reps that we've taken, we've been able to make mistakes, and that's kind of the mistakes I've made and the things I've learned from that. Those are the things that I want to bring to guys like, you know, Jordi Torredia, who's, you know, played football 3-4 years, you know, guys like that, who I think I can really help them raise their level with things I've learned.
Because they are the future. Jordy's
Exactly.
the future, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Guys, anything you guys want to say to our fans and to the people who are watching?
Vamos, dragons.
Estoy muy emocionado a veros en terraza a la 3 de junio. 3 de junio contra los Helvetic Guards. Forza Barça, Forza Dragons, y Forza Barça también.
Guys, thank you guys so much for joining this week's episode of Open Mic. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Open mic.
Yes, sir.
Open mic.
Yeah.
That's solid.
You just realized that.
Oh, the light bulb. I saw a light
Come up
bulb.
with a name?
Open mic.